Okay, with this video, it was my original intention just to make it into a short, highlighting a few Mandela effects related to this specific scene in the 1939 movie The Wizard of Oz. And this is where Dorothy and her friends are walking through the haunted forest to go and get the Wicked Witch's broom. Now, as I was doing my research and putting materials together for this short, I noticed a change that seemed to occur as I was putting the materials together. And I was just stunned. So I decided to go ahead and make this into a dedicated video and see what you guys think about what I'm going to present here. So this is what I remember from the movie. When they were walking through the forest, they were all kind of huddled together, and Tin Man is the only one who is holding anything, remotely like a weapon, being his axe. So now you can see this. This is a well-known Mandela effect. Scarecrow is holding a gun, and that's not the only change to occur in this scene. Now we'll go through some pictures of, theatrical productions and figurines, memorabilia, and such, where the characters are depicted in this specific scene, and none of them appear to be holding any kind of extra weapons or anything else to defend themselves. It's just, Tin Man and his axe. Now the movie is very different, but I think this depicts the movie scene that I remember very well. Lion's holding his tail, Tin Man has his axe, Scarecrow has nothing, and Dorothy has her basket. So this is a figurine set depicting the scene of them walking through the haunted forest, and only Tin Man has his axe. Nobody else is really carrying anything. And they're all kind of arm in arm. Here's another one where they're all kind of huddled together. Same thing. Now, in this snow globe, you see Lion is holding something in his arm. I'm not really sure, just by looking at it, what that thing is supposed to be. I saw a mallet appear in the scene. Well, I was pretty sure it was a mallet. It looked to be made of wood, but this thing does not appear to be wooden. Now, this figurine, bookends, has Lion holding a net. That's weird. I don't remember there being a net in the scene. And now this theatrical production, Lion's holding a net. Now here's the actual scene from the movie. Scarecrow has a gun. Lion has a net and what I thought was a mallet. And I was kind of startled to see it's made of metal. It's actually a bug sprayer. And Tin Man has an axe and a pipe wrench. This is very unfamiliar to me. I do not recognize these props at all in this scene. And some other folks are also mentioning this as a Mandela effect. What do you think? Now, this figurine set shows the scene as it's depicted in the movie. Tin Man, pipe wrench, axe, Lion, net, and a bug sprayer. Now, what is this? Scarecrow appears to be holding a staff or walking stick in his hand. I do not remember seeing a walking stick in his hand before. And as I was looking at this, and I saw it show up also in a snow globe, I wondered to myself, well, is it possible that this scene, this might be representative of yet another Mandela effect that could appear in the future, perhaps, where Scarecrow is holding a walking stick or staff? This theater production appears to be depicting him with a staff as well. Here's the actual scene. And I went back and I reviewed it and watched it again, just to make sure I've got everything right. And look at this. Scarecrow is holding a stick, a walking stick, and a pistol. That looks ridiculous. Lion with a net and a bug sprayer, Tin Man with a pipe wrench and an axe. I do not remember this walking stick being in Scarecrow's hand, even when I just began doing this, putting this clip together and looking at these clips. There was no walking stick in his hand. His left hand, was up on Lion's shoulder, and he was a little more, I think, like huddled behind him. So now he's bumbling around this giant walking stick and a pistol. Now, the other thing that whipping that thing around, the guy with no brain is whipping this pistol around. The other thing now is I think I've found some evidence suggesting that this is a pretty new change, and I think there might be a lot of other people out there who are surprised to see him holding this walking stick. This Facebook group used to be the biggest Facebook group discussing the Mandela Effect, and it got shut down basically a year ago when a bunch of trolls shut the administrators, locked them out of their accounts, and Facebook refused to give back control of the group. Anyway, this contributor, who's a very well-known critic, and he's always quick to highlight whatever the facts of the subject are and how everything else is just, false memory, confabulation. So when asked what items do each of the characters hold in this scene in the movie, his response was, the Scarecrow has a gun, the Tin Man has his axe and a large wrench, and the Lion has a net and a can of bug spray. Now, this is interesting because this guy is not known to make mistakes when describing exactly what the details of, a Mandela Effect subject are. He completely omitted the walking stick. So, and this was just a year ago that this was posted, right before the group shut down. And I think since then, that walking stick has appeared. In my personal experience, it seems to happen while putting this video together. So here's another contributor who also says, Scarecrow has a gun, Lion has a net and a bug sprayer, Tin Man has a pipe wrench. No mention of a walking stick. And I searched through all the comments. No one's talking about a walking stick. So what do you think? How many times has this scene changed for you? Is this walking stick new in your experience in this scene? Now I think we should go over a rundown of the Mandela effects in this movie because they seem to change so often, and I think it's just good to be aware of them if they would change again. So this famous line, what do you remember Dorothy saying to Toto when they first get to Oz? I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto, or I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Well, the actual correct line is, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. To me, both of them, it's hard for me to tell, but I think this sounds more correct in my opinion, and who knows, it might have changed a number of years ago in my experience, and both kind of sound correct. But it's interesting when you see, trademark merchandise featuring this line, and it's not in the movie. But yet, many of us remember it. And, it's commonly quoted, it's on t-shirts, commemorative plates. Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. But that's not exactly what the line is in the movie. What do you remember? And another little detail is about the Tin Man. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but he's got a bow on his tin suit, a tin bow. He also has this dimple in his nose, which a lot of people don't seem to recognize. So there's a number of subtle little Mandela effects that other people are reporting and keeping track of. Now, I'm going to make another video relating not just to more Mandela effects in The Wizard of Oz, but how they are massively affecting large companies and their products such as Hallmark. And this is particularly interesting because there are a lot of people who collect Hallmark memorabilia who are not Mandela affected, and they are highly irritated by some of these inconsistencies in the products. But yet, their inconsistencies perfectly match the Mandela affected memories that so many of us have. And it is pretty entertaining to watch some of these people's responses. So I think you might find that whole subject pretty fascinating. So let me know about these changes here. Are any of these new Mandela effects in your experience? And stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to talk about even more of them. Thanks. See you next time.